Fitzgerald from the Little Rock CVB, the Convention and Visitor Bureau, was on Big Blend Radio this past spring. In fact, we've been talking with him since I think about fall of last year. And he joined us on the show in spring to give us an overview of what the capital city of Arkansas has to offer as a travel destination, including the recent downtown revitalization. And now Nancy and I are here in Little Rock as part of our Love Your Park tour, and there's historic sites here. I know, finally, Bill.
Right.
And you let us have wine. He's been taking us around today, and he let us have wine at lunch. So you're our best friend. You and Libby. And you guys got us back here on time to air our show, so we think you rock. I just want to say that.
We're glad we could do that. Sorry we had to rush a little bit at lunch, but my lunch was delicious. I don't know about yours. But.
Oh, listen.
Oh, awesome.
Listen, there's this candied garlic dressing that you could get at the Clinton Center, the restaurant. It's 42nd. Is that the name of the restaurant? 42
Table and Cafe, yeah. It's in the lower level of the Clinton Center. It overlooks the river. We sat outside on the patio, looked out over the river. It was a beautiful day. And
it was lovely.
The wine looked awesome. I really would have taken advantage of that if I hadn't had to work more this afternoon. But
nanny.
Another time.
Just kidding.
Another time.
Just kidding. It was really good. I had that Caesar salad, and they changed the dressing for me. And had this candied garlic dressing, and I have to tell you, it smelled really good, and that tasted really good. I had a good lunch and a good breakfast. The breakfast, tell everybody where we were at breakfast, the Root Cafe. There's farm to table, but like they're serious about this.
The Root Cafe, they really live the farm to table, local food movement. They're dedicated. They're really great people, and I'm hoping Jack Sundell, the owner and chef, can join us later on the program. I'm not sure if he'll be able to, but they source as much of their produce as they can locally. I mean, we're in the middle of a growing season, so I would venture a guess that all of their produce right now is local. The meats and eggs and dairy are definitely all local, and they've just been going gangbusters. They're just and they really live it. I mean, all their materials are recycled or recyclable. I mean, they really live their values. And besides food being awesome, that just makes them a great place to take folks like you guys from out of town. So glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, we did, and we got a lovely garden. The mural is super fun.
Oh, yeah.
And Priscilla, our sock monkey, loved it. Our travel mascot, little Priscilla, loved it in there. But the food, the breakfast. I had this. Was it? What was it called now? I've got to get the menu out again because it's the first time I've ever had this in my life. Here it is. I got it. The banh mi, eggs banh mi, and I've never had it before, but I recognized all the ingredients from Chef Ivan Flowers that comes on our show. He's a 5-star chef, and he's always talking about this. And I ordered it and it had garlic too in it. By the way, I'm doing good on garlic today. But this was it was almost like having a spicy salad with your eggs, and it was so good. And yet they have a carrot. See, I'm talking about this salad thing because they had carrot. They're the Root Cafe. And they have Jim Ostick and all our fellow bicycle friends. Their bicycle rack is a carrot outside.
So cool.
I just have to talk about that because that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It's very clever.
Yeah, they're in what's called the Soma or South Main district, and there's a lot of that sculpture. Functional sculpture. I mean, you can lock your bike to it down in South Main, and then right across the street is the Bernice Gardens. It's a sculpture garden where a lot of events and markets are held. So yeah, I'm glad you guys got to experience a little bit of that.
And now that is, it looks like it's very much a pedestrian-friendly city. You can walk. You can take these little scootery things. Let's talk about those around. The
Lime
things.
scooters. Yeah, that's how I got back from lunch.
Really? Yeah.
And you talk about pedestrian friendly. We're also very bike friendly. I don't know if you guys noticed the bike lanes on the street down by the Root, but very bike friendly community. Road bikes, mountain. We've got some great mountain bike trails, within just a few minutes of downtown. So lots to do.
And it's good thing, and you got the streetcar or the tram, right? That we're gonna take around, and that's something that's hop on for free and go see the sites and learn about where you're going.
It is. The drivers are great. They give a little running commentary on sites that you'll pass by. And the streetcar is free. It runs all around downtown Little Rock. It crosses the bridge and goes into North Little Rock. makes a circle there and comes back. There are two different lines, the green and the blue line, and the blue one goes over the river. The green one stays on the sun.
He's just making sure we don't get lost, Nancy.
I know, well, and there's reason for that. But it's smart for a city to offer that. That's so good for the merchants. People really, really get to get around and see everything. That's really cool.
It's better than trying to drive everywhere.
I need to give a shout out to Rock Region Metro, which is the transit authority here.
Mm-hmm.
They at the beginning of the year they made the streetcars free. I mean, it was only like I think $1.25 or $1.50, which is not it's not a lot of money, but if you've got to fumble for that, it's a little bit of a barrier. So they made it free, and ridership has gone up like 350%. And the Convention and Visitors Bureau helps support that. We're hoping that program will continue, but it's definitely throughout 2019 you can ride free anywhere in town or anywhere downtown.
Wow, that's really a cool program. The other thing that we learned today, especially at breakfast, we got to meet really cool people, was that Arkansas, which is the natural state, and when you get here, if you haven't been here like us, Nancy and I are like, oh, look how green and beautiful it is. It really, truly is a beautiful, beautiful state with rivers and trees, and then the history, like the downtown here, it's historic, yet you have new buildings and skyscrapers. It is like, there's no place like it. But you've got a state park system, which is pretty amazing. Nancy and I are going to go explore 2 of them tomorrow right outside Little Rock. So here we are in this downtown, and within 15 minutes we're going to get 2 completely different state parks. But there's 52 state parks in Arkansas, and every single one of them has free admission. Not free camping, but free admission. This is the first time we've experienced that in a state, that you have all state parks free admission, because some of them are actually pretty expensive depending on the state you're in.
Yeah, we're very proud of that, and that was as one of the people we met this morning works for Arkansas State Parks, and she pointed out that was made possible by a tax that the industry basically placed on ourselves to make it available to people. And 52 state parks, 52 weekends. It's not a coincidence. Just saying.
Yeah.
And you're right. We do charge for camping, and then there are some lodge parks that have beautiful lodges where you can stay, or cabins. And the 2 parks you mentioned, Pinnacle Mountain State Park is 15 minutes west of downtown. The other one is 20 minutes east of downtown. So you're going to get 2 different geographies. One is a mountain, and the other is actually in the delta, so it's flat as a table. And so it'll be interesting. I'll be interested to hear what you have to say about those.
Yeah, well, we're excited about it. I think we do have our caller. Is this Jack from the Root Cafe?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Jack, this is Lisa. Nancy is here, too, and we've also got Bill. And we want to thank you for the most awesome breakfast in the coolest place.
Cool.
It was
Thanks
awesome.
so much for coming in. Yeah. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to meet you all in person, but thanks so much for coming in. We love doing breakfast. We also do lunch and dinner and Sunday brunch as well.
And apparently you have cocktails, too.
We do. We have some great cocktails. Yeah, we try to keep it, traditional with a little bit of a contemporary and very local and seasonal twist.
And you've got a beautiful mural outside, and beautiful. It's super fun. And if you were a kid, you would want to eat your vegetables, or you'd relate to them and make friends with your vegetables.
That's right. Yeah, the vegetables are dancing in space. So how can you not love that?
I know. It's like
hey, Jack,
super cool.
There's got to be a story about the mural. Can you share that?
Well, like a lot of things in Soma, we owe our thanks to Anita Davis. She was the landlord of the building that we're in at the Root when we first moved to the neighborhood, and then she had renovated several properties and kind of really set the stage for some fun businesses to move in and create this little business district that there is now. But she purchased the building next to the Root, which has the mural on the side of it. She turned it into a purse museum.
Right.
The United States' only purse museum. And then she put that mural on the side of it, and she wanted something that was just, kind of like the neighborhood, quirky, fun, and just gave a really positive message. So she's done so much for the neighborhood, and it's really awesome to see how it's blossomed, since she started working down here.
And didn't she also do the sculpture garden across the street from you?
That's right. Yeah, she built the Bernice Garden sculpture garden. They have a farmers market there now that runs from I think April to November, and they host various other events. It's an event venue, so it's great for outdoor things that are going on in the neighborhood. And then she actually commissions. She does an open call for sculptors, artists who want to have a piece, and she gives them a small stipend to complete their work, and then once a year they have the unveiling of like the 5 or 6 new sculptures that they're adding. But she's doing a lot of that work funded. She's funding it herself, so it's really cool what she's done for the neighborhood and the community.
Yeah, she's an amazing lady. She's really cool. Jack mentioned the Essie Purse Museum is the only one in the United States. It's one of only 3 in the world dedicated to purses, and it tells the story of the American woman of the 20th century through the contents of her purse. And I always say, I'm a dude, and I find it fascinating. I mean, it's absolutely fascinating. So I recommend it highly.
Well, Bill, I showed you what's in my purse today.
It's clever.
Don't you think that my purse can go in the museum? It's a Portofino. We put wine in ours. It has a little hole for the spigot and everything.
If you get down there, they have a scale where you can weigh your purse or your bag and see how it compares to other people. Yeah, see what's causing all the back trouble.
Well, mine is from wine. Mine is from carting wine across the country in my purse. But but this made it so it's not as heavy because you don't have to have the glass, and then you're not taking things into parks that you shouldn't. But anyway, I wanted to go back also to the root. With what you're doing with this restaurant, it's really interesting because there's always, of course, farm to table, but you're really that, and you're. I didn't know I was going to like carrots with my eggs this morning, but I really did. Banh mi, if I'm saying that right, is really. I've got a whole new dish that I'm interested in because I was eyeing Bill's dish because he took my favorite thing, which is eggs Benedict, and then I'm like, look at that. And Nancy's got the sausage on the biscuit, sandwich, and I'm like, dude,
good.
I want everyone's food. But it's really neat because you go in. There's a different relaxed atmosphere with your restaurant where you go and get coffee and you go choose a mug and they're not matching. It's like Nancy went for the quirkiest one and I'm like, I'm jealous, but I got the New York Times crossword, so that was good. But so there's this really relaxed thing, but it seems like everything is very community based. But as a visitor, you feel incredibly relaxed and part of the scene. Which is, I love it when you can do that as a traveler, where you kind of feel at home when you walk in.
Right. Well, I'm glad that you got that vibe, and that's a really important thing to us. Our mission is building community through local food, and we take the community building side of that very seriously, just like we do the local food side. Our mission is really all about the local food and serving whatever we can from local farmers and producers in Arkansas. About 77% of our overall food cost is sourced from local farmers and producers, and that actually ranks us in the top half of 1% for farm-to-table restaurants nationwide.
Wow.
So if there's a local version of something, that's what we're going to pursue and try to serve. So 100% of the meat that you will ever have at the Root Cafe, 100% of the eggs we serve. All of the bread is baked at local bakeries, and then the majority of the fruits, nuts, vegetables, cheeses, that kind of thing. All of the coffees from a local roastery, the beers brewed locally. The majority of our liquor for the cocktails and spirits, that comes from Rocktown Distillery, which is just right up the street. So really we love it when someone comes from out of town, from out of state, and they stop into the Root Cafe, because I think it can really give them this insight into what Arkansas has to offer. We've gotten all of these different ingredients and value-added products from producers all over the state, and put them in one place where you can come in and sit down and just feel like you're getting to experience something that's really uniquely Arkansas.
I think it's really important if you're coming into a city environment, and you have like Nancy and I was. This is our first time in Arkansas. We took a scenic route, so we got here late. Sorry, Bill, but it happens. Everybody, whenever I say I'm going to be there on time, it's 2 hours later if we're coming from another destination because we like to photograph swamps. But on our way through Louisiana to get here, but coming in, we didn't see any of the farms or anything, and this, gave us an understanding. You have an awesome map showing all the, the growers where you source from inside the restaurant. And the mural made it fun, but it really gave us an idea of what Arkansas is about in regards to food. And I think that's really important because if you come into a city, you're not seeing the agriculture as such. But Bill, we're gonna learn more from the Heifer organization that really does this amazing nonprofit work of sustainability for villages around the world. They're here too, so that kind of ties into the farm to table in a way.
It does, and Jack works with Heifer some too, and then the Rocktown Distillery that he mentioned, a couple of their products like the Feast in the Field gin, they pick the botanicals in the urban farm right downtown in the morning, and they're in the gin in the afternoon, and then it's in the drink in the evening.
And that's what we're going to have today,
maybe
right?
A little bit longer than that.
We're doing that today, right? After this show, everybody, we're gonna take the streetcar home.
There you go. Hey, I hope you don't mind. Jack is a great example of hyper local. Educated here, grown here, but right down the street from the root, he has another enterprise. Jack, you want to talk a little bit about Dos Rocas?
Ooh.
Sure. Yeah. Dos Rocas Beer and Tacos. It's a Latin American street food, but then also offering the best of Arkansas craft beer. We have 16 taps, and 15 of them are dedicated to Arkansas small breweries. We do have Modelo on tap. You have to have Modelo. It's like the PBR of millennials. But besides that, it's all the best breweries around Little Rock, Northwest Arkansas. We even have a couple that are from really rural places, Preston Rose, which is near Mount Magazine. They're a farm that also they brew their own beer, and they have a little kitchen. And we're one of the only places that offers their beer here in Little Rock. And then another from Gravity Brew Works, which is up in North Arkansas, more towards Mountain View, Stone County, that area. And again, it's a guy who he brewed here in Little Rock for several years, and then moved, just kind of wanted to get away from the city, but still doing some great beer. So he and his partner, they have Gravity Brew Works, and they just keep us in, one beer. It's kind of a rotating tap. And then we also have lots of different cocktails with a decidedly Latin American focus. So
we're going to talk a little bit about
Caipirinhas and Palomas.
You talk a little bit about Cesar and what he brings to the party.
Right. So Cesar is from Paraguay. He's one of our longtime employees at the Root, and
cool.
He and his wife partnered with us on Dos Rocas, and so the menu is, well, I mean, we're in Arkansas, so we have to have some sort of Mexican favorites like guacamole and queso. We don't want to scare anyone away, but then we also have some kind of uniquely South American and Central American dishes that are hard to find in other places.
I'm coming to see
us. We have great margaritas too.
Yeah, well, we're based out of the Southwest. Our let's say our hotel headquarters is in Yuma, Arizona. So, and we lived in Arizona for a number of years in Southern California and Mexico. We lived in Mexico for a while, and so some of the best food comes from there and from South America. Some of the best. I mean, there's just a flavor combination that there's this. You just can't. I don't know. It's just a whole new level of sweet and spice. That there's this balance that I even like food from Peru. Like I would never be able to recreate it, but it's some of the best things ever. And so it's exciting to see this. So it's kind of this international, flavor going on in the city here. So we have to come out and see you. I do want to know, do you serve Common Sense?
Common Sense. The
beer.
You mean the Stone Throw beer?
Yeah, is that what? Yeah, I had that last night. A lager, Common Sense lager.
I
we
think that's
don't
one,
have
is that
that
one of their
particular
ryes?
Stone's Throw beer. That the Common Sense is there. I think it's a California Common. It's a it's an interesting style of beer. It's really unique on the local craft beer scene, but it's the only that I know of, the only California Common. The same style of beer, if I'm not mistaken, as the like Anchor Steam or something like that. But it is very good. We 15 taps sounds like a lot, but when you start looking at all the great breweries in Arkansas, we used them up pretty quick. So we have those few rotating taps. We do have some Stone's Throw. We have their Seamus Stout on the Nitro, which is really amazing. And then we also have a nice summer beer from them. It's a really light 4%. It's a Berliner Weiss they do. It's just a seasonal. But recently we got a new cider from a place called Black Apple Cider up in northwest Arkansas. And it's a hibiscus cider. And I'm not kidding. It is the best cider I've ever had. I love it so much. Oh, and it's so beautiful. It's a really it's just a wonderfully sort of rosy pink color in the glass, but it is so refreshing.
Nice.
It's such a good summer drink.
Oh, I want to come do that because I grew up on cider because we're in South Africa and cider was in England that was a big deal. That's what you drank, especially us ladies. That's what we would drink.
You're in for a treat.
Okay, so where is Dos Rocas? Right? That's the name.
Right, Dos Rocas Beer and Tacos. We're right on Main Street in the same area, South Main or Soma. We're just about 2 blocks north, back toward the interstate from the Root Cafe. So if you walking, you just get a great sense of the community here. A couple blocks south, there's some vintage stores. Across the street, you've got the Green Corner store and Loblolly, Moxie Boulevard, the Sculpture Garden, and then as you walk up, there are more restaurants. And then Community Bakery just as you get to the interstate. But there's just so much to see and do, which is why it's, on a Sunday when we have the farmers market at Fernie's Garden, people come down and they park and they shop, go get brunch somewhere, they walk around, they go get ice cream. There's just so much to see and do.
Ice cream place.
Oh, the ice cream place. Got to stop in there for sure.
Yeah, local ice creamery. Yep.
Mm.
And you can get,
they do a great job.
You can get an ice cream flight there, which is kind of cool.
Really? Ooh.
Oh, that's different.
Oh my. Oh my. I want to try that.
They do a great job of using local and seasonal ingredients as well. So, this time of year you're going to be able to go in and get like a blueberry or a blackberry ice cream that's made with ingredients from local farms.
That is so exciting. I had no idea about this side of it. I knew you had a brewery trail, Bill. And so
right. We call it locally labeled. And there are 10 stops. I believe wait, I'm going to get my numbers wrong. We have 2 wineries. There's a third in the wings that's about to open. We have the distillery, and then 8 or 9 local breweries. And if you can go to each one of them and get your passport stamped and get some cool prizes and swag to go with it. But even better than that is the awesome local beer. Jack mentioned Stone's Throw. That's one of my favorites. I mean, there's so much to choose from, and my favorite there is Amadeus. It's a Vienna lager. It's a little maltier. I'm more of a malt guy than a hop guy. But Lost 40 is another one. They do a great job, and they also do a great job with food. Rebel Kettle. Across the river is Diamond Bear and Flyway Brewery. And a couple others, but it's.
I want to do Amadeus because I could go Amadeus. That's sorry.
Yeah.
I just wanted.
I was hoping we could have gone there last night because they had Neighbor Thursday, I believe, and they kind of celebrate the neighborhood. It's a slightly different neighborhood than Soma. It's the MacArthur Park district, but it's a super neighborhoody pub and brewery. Who also serves food, but they're right down the street from the MacArthur Museum of Arkansas Military History, which is where Douglas MacArthur was born, and then the Arkansas Arts Center is right there too.
Jack, I wanted to ask you how when you have so many beers on tap, right? You've got 12 taps, you say, and it goes fast with all the local. but this whole brew scene that's happening, not just here in Little Rock, but around the country, really, it's changed up. But there's a lot of, we were just interviewing a gentleman in Tri-Valley, California, up in Northern California, and he opened a place called Bottle Tap. And he's like, okay, we've got all these beer drinkers, but then there's a huge mass of people that don't like beer. And what he learned was to do food pairings with the beer, like you have wine pairings. Do you do anything like that to kind of teach those who maybe who haven't sampled different beers or may not be beer drinkers to kind of be the pusher man of beer? Just, kind of pair it with the right food so people
help
can
them acquire
see
the
what
taste.
they like.
Right. We don't do that yet. We've been talking about trying to make that a little more apparent, because we do have beer, wine, and cocktails, and so it's something that's in the works to put on the menu suggested beer pairings and suggested, or if you like wine, try this wine with this, or even the cocktails. I think that's one thing that's really neat about that style of food, Latin American food, and Mexican food, is that it really pairs well with cocktails. If you think about American food, a lot of times you're having a steak or meatloaf or macaroni and cheese or whatever it is. Your mind doesn't go to cocktails. You think like, oh, I'd like to have a glass of wine with this, or maybe a beer if you're having a burger or something. But with Latin American food, you really, people love a good margarita or a nice mojito or something like that as the thing that they're actually drinking with their meal. And so it's in the near future to just give that little helping hand on the menu. It's so smart to just because you're right, when you have so many choices, it can be kind of overwhelming for the non-aficionado, and it's really nice just to give a little bit of gentle guidance.
Well, for me, it's just about trying it all.
Well, I was just going to say, if you need testers, we're very available.
Yeah, we're always available. Well, we'll turn around no matter where we are. But at breakfast today, to me, I was just like, I tried something completely new and different, and absolutely was like, dude, like, I'm so glad I woke up, for this. It's so good.
I just have to say, you have what my granny would call granny-approved biscuits, because you don't have that big baking powder taste that a lot of biscuits have. And my granny taught me, if your biscuits taste like baking powder, you didn't beat the dough enough.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my wife's recipe for biscuits. She put together all of our baked good recipes. So the biscuits, the bread pudding, the chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know if y'all got to try a chocolate chip cookie, but they were named the best chocolate chip cookie in Arkansas by Cosmopolitan. So I think they.
Oh, wow.
Just trust
hey,
me
listen,
on that one.
You had the dude from Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives come in, and listen, I'm sorry, but you're in the diner side. You're not a dive, okay? There's no diving there. It's just a cool, just I don't know. It's very just. I love your restaurant, but like, what was that like having them come in?
Well, it was a really great experience. We had to close for a couple of days while they came in and did their filming, but
really?
It was
that's wild.
Yeah, they kind of need the whole run of the place. They have a really big production crew, and but they're so professional. They know exactly what shots they're looking for, how to frame things so that they're going to get the right light, right background, and they were really, really easy to work with. And when Guy Fieri came to do his part, they knew exactly what they needed from him, because he's not there for the entire time that they're filming. They did 6 restaurants in Little Rock, and he was only at each of those restaurants for about 2 hours. So they get the shots they need with him, and then he moves on to the next place. But overall, it was fantastic. It's Triple D has done an amazing job of building a community around food and around their show. They have such avid followers, and ever since that show aired, it was back around Thanksgiving of 2018, we have seen a spike in traffic of especially when the show airs and right afterwards. But that's another great thing, is that they aired it originally in November, and I think it's already played 10 times on the Food Network, so every time,
Cool.
different new people are seeing it, and it's just it's a great thing. I mean, I would recommend it for any restaurant that gets that opportunity. It's really like the gift that keeps on giving.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's cool.
awesome. It puts you on the map too, because the first thing I think I ever heard about Arkansas and food was about barbecue, kind of like Texas. And I remember, I think it was even Alton Brown that did some barbecue thing, and that's what I was like looking at Arkansas. I remember watching this years and years ago, and so already it's changed my perception today. Just even at lunch today, breakfast with you, and just even dinner last night. It's already a little bit different than that. Bill, is Arkansas really barbecue, or was it just I was watching Alton Brown going to barbecue spots?
Well, it's hard to, Jack, you might can help me. They're asking what is the Arkansas dish. My first thought was cheese dip, because we are the cheese dip capital of the world. But there's so much more.
I love it.
I mean, from farm to table to, you were talking about pairings. There's another restaurant in town whose owner is from the Czech Republic, and he does some beer and food pairings. It's called the Pantry. There's a pantry in Hillcrest, and then there's a pantry out west. Great German, East European comfort food in a wonderful bar situation. We've got Indian, Thai, Asian, Latin American, as Jack referred to. There's a surprising amount of diversity in the food landscape here, I'd say. Wouldn't you, Jack?
Yeah, there's so much to choose from. And that question of what is sort of, typifies Arkansas cuisine or what's uniquely Arkansan, I mean, barbecue does get cited a lot. And I guess for us, different regions have their particular style of barbecue, whether it's like a mustard sauce or brisket in Texas. I mean, I think for us, it's really the pulled pork sandwich is kind of most people's image of what a barbecue sandwich is or what barbecue means in Arkansas. Fried chicken, that's a very, very Arkansan comfort food. But the other day I saw this list of what's the single dish that is a great example of food in every state. For Arkansas, they put biscuits with chocolate gravy, and I was like,
Ooh.
I've been here all my life, and
biscuits with
had
chocolate gravy.
time.
I'm in.
I mean, it sounds good, but like it's definitely not the dish that I would pick as like standard Arkansas fare. I've honestly never encountered it in my life. So I think definitely
I saw that on a local menu recently.
Really? Well, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
But barbecue, fried chicken, some of those kind of comfort foods, I think, and then but like Bill said, it's so diverse. It's really, I think, like anywhere when you dig in, you realize that it really is so varied and rich. And and the same kind of thing that we found with Latin American cuisine. When we first started talking about it, my mental image of that cuisine was so impoverished just from lack of contact. I think for most people in Arkansas, we think of everything south of the border as being Mexican to some degree, and you get into the just the variety that there is traveling through Central and South America.
Yeah.
Every country has, and even within countries, regionally, they have more mountainous regions. They have the sea, the parts that border the sea where there's a lot of seafood in the diet. Different styles of empanadas or hand pies that you find almost everywhere. Tacos, obviously very Mexican, but for example, Cesar, who helped us get the place going, it's like he had never had a taco before until he moved to the United States, so it's, our idea of, is, I think very one-dimensional, until we are exposed to all of the richness that there is, and then you realize that it's just like, there's so much to learn and
exciting
taste about that cuisine. It is.
I mean, we're doing parks and destinations across America, but the food thing is really interesting. We were in Natchitoches, Louisiana, that's famous for meat pies, and it came from one restaurant that started this whole thing. Then one area, and we had our first beignet. Now, Bill, just close your ears. It was not in New Orleans, because I know Bill lived in New Orleans. It was in Toledo Bend at Cypress Bend Resort. Give him a shout out. It was really good. The chef was fabulous chef, and everyone's like, actually, this was some of the best beignets they've ever had, and having done the whole coffee beignet thing in New Orleans, but we ended up in this town of Zwolle, tiny little town in western Louisiana, and their thing is tamales. And the tamales, you think Mexico. We think, Arizona, where we were living. Oh, no. This started from the Native American culture, and when they were using deer and corn that they were growing out in that area. And now it's kind of changed up a little bit into more of a ground pork and red chili, and that's what it is. And they're thinner and completely different than tamales it's still in corn husk, but it's still completely different than tamales that we've had before. So it's really interesting how the food, the etymology of food is fascinating to me, and it changes through the years as people come into a community. It seems to me that Little Rock has got a diverse community, which means you get diverse food, which means we're all happier. That's how I look at it.
Right, man, you really started making me hungry when you started talking about tamales.
Yeah.
That sounds so good.
Well, I was thinking, in the Mississippi and Arkansas Delta, there's actually a tamale trail. It's a big deal in the Delta too. And locally, there's a place that started in the Mississippi Delta called Doe's Eat Place, and there's a Doe's Eat Place here in Little Rock, and one of their best lunches is tamales and a soaked salad. The salad is olive oil and garlic, and it's delicious, and the tamales are awesome too. And it's a great, the lunch sets you back about $6 or $7, and it's a great businessman's lunch any day of the week.
It's got garlic.
And there's a place in Lake Village. What's the one in Lake Village? Is it Rhoda's Hot Tamales? Is that right?
That sounds right. Yeah.
It's been going for decades. I mean, probably 50 or 60 years. They've been serving tamales down in Lake Village, which is really close to Mississippi, down past Monticello, near Lake Chico. And it's like this very. It's in the Arkansas Food Hall of Fame. I know they've they do an amazing. And when you go, you've heard so much about it. You're expecting some magnificent restaurant. Just this, a very small, plain house, and the kitchen is tiny, and they're serving up these tamales like they've been doing for 50 years.
Oh my gosh! And now I'm hungry again. How is that possible? We had breakfast with you, we had an early lunch, and now I'm hungry. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We could talk about food and wine and beer and cocktails all afternoon, but we got to go. We got to go to Southern California on the rest of the show today for more farm stable conversation. Everyone, again, go check out littlerock.com. You got to come out here. I mean, we're not even a full day in. And it's already like, dude, we have to come back. Okay, so littlerock.com.
So much.
And go, if you come here, you've got to go to the Root Cafe, and that is therootcafe.com. Obviously, watch for them on Triple D, Diners, Dives, and Drive. What is it? Diners, Drives, and Dives.
Drive-ins and Dives.
I can't say it straight. I had wine at lunch. But anyway, we're going to try and come see your other place, Jack. Do you want to give everyone the website for that?
It's Dos Rocas beerandtacos.com, all spelled out.
Okay.
DOSROCAS, beerandtacos.com.
Okay, cool. We're going to try and come out there. We'll try our best to come out there. Are you open on Sunday?
We're not open on Sunday, but Tuesday through Saturday, and we're open through the in between too. We do lunch and dinner and happy hour in between, so it's a great time to come see us.
We may stumble there after the distillery today because we're going to go check out the gin.
That would be great.
The infused gin. We'll see what we can do. All right. So, because we're here on the Arkansas River, our room here at the Doubletree overlooks, and this is a beautiful room. Check it out.
Yeah.
We're all cozy. We're very, very cozy.
Nice.
Cozy in that it's spacious. We're comfortable. I slept last night in a hotel. A lot of times you hear noise. I didn't know where I was. I thought I was out in nature because there's it's quiet here. It's so quiet in this hotel. And I have this amazing view of the Arkansas River and all these bridges. There's a lot of bridges, Bill. There's a ton of them.
Yeah. And at night, a couple of them are lit up.
Yes.
In different ways. There's,
That's neat.
different color schemes.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So DoubleTree Inn, you guys, when you come here, stay here. I was saying that earlier on the show because you're right in the downtown. They have a shuttle service that will take you around. They have their own restaurant. You're next to the Robinson Center. You're next to the State Museum, which is the oldest Capitol building west of the Mississippi. Am I doing this right, Bill?
The Old State House Museum.
Yeah, the Old State House Museum.
DoubleTree's also right on the free streetcar line too.
And we're right by the sculpture garden, right? We can take that trail to see all the sculptures.
Yeah,
see?
Absolutely.
Perfect positioning, and you're right by Bill's office, and that's important too.
I'm looking at the DoubleTree right now.
We're waving at you, Bill, but you got a river view too. So
I do a little bit. I got a little bit between the State House and the DoubleTree. I can see a slice of the river, so I'm happy.
See, we're going to play our favorite song, which is my favorite bridge. It's our tour song. It's our Love Your Parks tour theme song. It's from our friend John Roniger, and he's out of New Orleans, Bill. But we connected him first when he was in San Francisco. It's John Roniger and the Good for Nothing Band. But this is a song he wrote many years ago, and we picked this as our theme song because it's about getting out there in life and living your best life, and really find your favorite bridge and do things. And I think, Jack, that's what you're doing for sure with your restaurants, is going out there and doing where your heart and passion is in it. So cheers to you on that. Yes, thank you.
We're living our best life.
Exactly. And Bill, you too. Thank you and Libby for being our tour guides and being our tour angels out here. So anyway, here it is. My favorite bridge. You take care, and everyone, we've got more coming on the show, so stay tuned. And here it is, my favorite bridge.
Y'all come see us.
I've never been the one to check how thin the ice is. I just skate a figure eight until I fall right in. You can't get what you want without taking any chances. Sometimes you've got to go for a swim, and I'm keeping my head above water. Black ice stuck to my skin. I ain't looking for a safe landing. I wanna jump off my favorite bridge, go where the river goes, right until it ends. Just like a summer day when I was a kid. Never been the one to see the cards face value. I wanna see what happens when I go all in. Now I've been told it's not the most practical. Go big or go home, that's what I say. And I keep my head above water, black ice stuck to my skin. I ain't looking for a safe landing. I wanna jump off my favorite bridge, go where the river goes, right until it ends. Just like a summer day when I was a kid. I am the eyes of the walking dead, dying noon to 9 with a pistol in my hand. Stand toe to toe with the devil myself. Can't say that I liked it. He just stood there with his cigarette as I lay on the carpet and bled. Keeping my head above water, black ice stuck to my skin. I ain't looking for a safe land, and I wanna jump off my